Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Sheldon, and this is another episode of Behind the Enthusiast. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the 2022 Harley Davidson world premiere teaser video. Now, for those of you who have seen this video, you probably have a lot of thoughts in your head bouncing around as to what the heck is going to happen. So, I'm going to take a look at that video, and we're going to discuss some of the elements to it, the tagline in it as well, and see if we can figure out what Harley has up its sleeve for this big reveal on January 26th. So let's get into it. So for those of you who haven't done so, be sure to go to either the American website or the Canadian website and sign up so that you guys are notified of this big world premiere on January 26th. Now, the tagline is further, faster, and considering what is in the video itself, there are a lot of questions, obviously, but there are some very noticeable elements to the bike that is shown in the video, which leads us to believe that this is the Lowrider S, and it's not very clear what is going to happen. However, when someone says to me, further, faster, further, number one, means bigger gas tank, means touring, and faster obviously means bigger engine. So obviously, if you want to go faster, if the Lowrider S, which not if, it has a 114 engine in it, you obviously are going to put a 117 or something larger in it. So there's that, which has also, there's rumors going around that that is the case. And the other thing to consider is that there are speaker covers in the video which allude to it being a kind of touring-esque model. So basically, the video has a lot of elements that, allude to it being a Lowrider S, especially with the gas tank graphic on the side. And so we're really left wondering, because the Lowrider S isn't listed on the website right now, which means they probably have a few changes coming up for the Lowrider S, which, well, one of those things could be, faster, meaning it's going to come with a 117, which, again, rumors online have hinted that that is the case. However, the further portion means that there is potentially a fairing involved, and I know I've researched a lot of this. I've seen other people's videos speculating on what is actually going to be happening, and there's no way to guarantee what is actually going to happen, even with the spy photos. Yes, I've seen them. Yes, it does look like a Lowrider S touring model, which I have dubbed the Lowrider T, or someone actually mentioned maybe ST. However, I think what they're probably going to do is have the Lowrider S and the Lowrider T for touring. I don't see them calling it the Lowrider S Touring. That's just a bit too wordy if you ask me. I think they want to keep this model very cool, so they'll probably just call it the Lowrider T if it ends up being a touring model. And with the spy photo, again, is what I'm referencing to, which I've seen on the internet, these saddlebags look like they have come off of the discontinued Sport Glide. So the Sport Glide has basically been cannibalized in order for the Lowrider S to succeed it as a touring model. Now, this video has other elements in it, all of the lines at the very beginning of it, and the rims and everything else. And really the only big takeaways are all of those contour lines, the shape of potentially saddlebags or the fairing, and the gas tank, obviously, that's a giveaway. It's definitely a lowrider-esque, you know, design. However, it doesn't really confirm what else is going to be happening. I do expect Harley to be releasing one model for sure. However, I do predict that they will have another model being released at that time. However, the tagline, further and faster, those two words, I mean, they could be describing the Lowrider S touring model only, or they could be implying something else completely different, which we are totally unaware of. Now, my prediction is they're going to be reviving essentially the original Sport Glide, or the FXRT or FXRP, which was from 1983, I believe, up to about 1992. And through those years, you had the lowrider, touring model essentially in the 80s. And then they switched it over from 91 and 92 to the Sport Glide. The FXRT model designation was the same, however, they changed the name. So the Sport Glide was always, in my opinion, a revival of that bike from way back then. And so to see it discontinued doesn't really make any sense. However, these two models are more or less sharing the same spotlight. So what do you do? Do you, as Harley, as a company, do you keep both of them? Do you discontinue one of them? Essentially, they are both the same bike. So it does make sense, looking at the history, that they opt for just one of these bikes and not both. And the fairing, if you guys look at an original from back in the day, from the 80s, the fairing is very similar to the retro one that is offered on a lot of retro custom bikes. And you can see a lot of these examples on Google. You can see one through Laidlaw Harley Davidson on Matt Laidlaw's YouTube channel. I watched that video and the bike looks absolutely amazing. Really, really crazy. And I think that with a lot of the younger generations, starting up in Harleys and getting Softails, or even older Dynas for that matter, and putting these larger fairings on it, it does make sense for Harley to offer this as a factory model. Just from the factory, here you go. You've got your saddlebags for touring. You've got your big fairing, you've got speakers on it, so you've got music and everything else. So the only other thing you can do, really, in reference to the faster portion, is to put a 117 in it, unless you want to go really crazy and do something else. But, with Battle of the Baggers, the Bagger Racing coming out, I suppose it's possible that they could have a performance bagger-esque touring model coming out. However, I think it's a little bit early for that sort of thing. And any other speculation, I mean, it's really tough to go on anything other than those spy photos and this video. But at the end of the day, I think that with Harley keeping everything under wraps pretty tightly, for the CVO models especially, the new paint schemes that are going to be coming out for those, or any new models. I mean, like I said, we did see some leaked photos online of a standard Sportster with the Revolution Max motor in it. However, there was no badging on it, so one would assume that they would be coming out with a 975, introducing that as they kind of get rid of the Iron 883. And, well, the 48, those two bikes are still available, but it looks like they're going to be weeded out eventually. And so At the end of the day, I mean, 15 seconds is not really much to go on for this world premiere, which is kind of the point. I mean, you don't want to be giving too much away, but they are focusing on this one particular model, which I think we've all kind of figured out what it is. And that's pretty much it, right? Everything else seems to be under lock and key. We have no idea what anything else is going to be, which, to be completely honest with you guys, is really nice. I like surprises. I like being told first thing in the morning, surprise, there's a new model, you know? And if I'm at work and I'm not able to watch this premiere, you know, I want to be able to come home, play that video, maybe even record my reactions to that video and be completely blown away and not sit there and go, I knew that. Oh, I knew that too. Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to happen, because there's no element of surprise anymore, right? So anyone who has those spy photos or videos or anything that's available out there, I did go looking for them, and I kind of regret it, because it does ruin that element of surprise, like I said. And I want to wait. You know, I want to wait for January 26th. I want Harley to present what they're going to present, and it be meaningful and impactful. And the only way to do that is just cover your eyes, don't look at anything on the internet, stop bugging everybody about, hey, did you see this and did you see that? Just everybody should stop doing that, because honestly, it's just going to ruin it. You know, a world premiere is such a big event and there's so much hype surrounding it that you should let that hype build. Yes, it's okay to have a little bit of speculation, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, it does ruin a little bit of it. It's kind of like your birthday party coming up and someone saying, hey, by the way, so-and-so got you this. Thanks? You just ruined my birthday surprise. So it's kind of like that. So again, this is just me reviewing that video and kind of confirming what I think is going to happen. And that's more or less it. Now, the only other thing that I wanted to mention was that when I initially saw this video, I did think that there was a possibility of a icon revival. Well, so the Icon series is basically full of iconic bikes. And obviously Harley has the Revival touring model. And so when I first heard about, you know, an FXRT Revival, I thought, oh, okay, maybe it's going to be part of the Icon series. However, the reason I don't believe that is going to happen is because it would have to be a numbered bike, so a very limited production run, and I don't think Harley is going to do that. So that prediction went completely out the window as soon as I actually looked at what the Icon collection is supposed to be. So aside from that, that is pretty much it for this video. If you guys have seen this video, not just my video, but the actual 15-second video from Harley, what did you guys think when you first saw this video? You know, did you immediately say, yes, Lowrider S touring model, or were you thinking maybe something else, maybe a different model, or a completely brand new model? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button so I know that it's working. And as usual, be sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss out on future videos on the channel. Like I said in my previous one, I have a lot of videos coming out for you guys. I'm going to be discussing the newest models on the Canadian website, which is not 100% accurate, obviously, because the world premiere hasn't happened yet. But leading up to the world premiere, I am going to be discussing all the new models, the new paint, the new colors, paint schemes, all that stuff, new rims, whatever they have on the new models. So I'm going to be discussing all of this stuff, telling you guys what I think of it, and informing you guys all in this very short span of about 2 weeks, so you guys are fully prepared for the world premiere. So that's it for me, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.